Hello, my name is Johnny. Welcome to another World War II 172 scale video. Today we're going to look at the packaging here of the AK paint set for U.S. Army uniform soldiers colors. If you'd like, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, reply, and share. Got some interesting information on the back. Got the colors here. We've got U.S. olive base uniform, dark olive green, red brown, and of course you could use these for anything you're painting, not specifically only U.S. uniforms. Field drab, ochre khaki, and we've got canvas tone. Nice big sizes, nice lids to do. Gotta shake those up, get that on there. 17 milliliters. Let's look at the packaging. There they are specifically, so you can get these separately. There's the numbers there. And let's look at the back. They've got some examples of what you can do with these. Let's see here. There's the leather brown there for the holster. Uniform dark green. Uniform green ochre. So for that that khaki look, there's canvas tone on the strapping. Olive base uniform they're showing on the helmet. Looks darker there with a wash. And then over here some of the other uses here. There's the base olive, that color. Green ochre khaki here. And then we've got U.S. field drab down here. So very nice. So here they're showing a tanker. So very good for the uniforms. They're showing an airborne soldier there. So out of these, you're not going to need too much more to do a figure. You'll need your flesh tone, and then you'll probably need a black and maybe one or two other colors, but you're going to be set here with some of the basic things. That's what I wanted. Instead of getting cheaper water-based acrylic paints that I have for uniforms, I wanted something that I could just go back to and paint figures on the jackets, the pants, and so forth. A base color right out of a bottle, and that's going to look very good. Hopefully, I haven't tried these out yet, that they're going to be drab. I noticed a lot of paints sometimes tend to be still a little shiny. I just did a base tan coat for a Panzer, and it was, when it dried, it was too shiny, and then I really mixed it up and I put a second coat on, and it was still a little that satin look, even though it's supposed to be drab. Because I know you can weather things, but I want things to look dry and drab with no sheen or shine. Hopefully these will be like that. If I have an experience with the AK brand and I find out it's not going to do that, I'll mention that in a future video. So this, I think, concludes some of the paint sets I did this past beginning part of 2025. This brand, and then several other brands like Vallejo and ICM. So it was a pretty good investment for these paints. What was this? Can't remember offhand. It was either between $15 to $20 for the whole thing, so that's about $3 a bottle. To me, that's expensive because I'm old, and I remember how cheap paint prices are, but that's about the going rate for some of these things, $2 each or more. And like I said, I wanted to try these fancy, famous brands and see if they have good look, and then getting happy with a color just right out of the bottle. And let's see what this is. Is this a squeeze top or open? Yeah, the squeeze top there. So you squeeze some of it out. You gotta really have to shake, because when you put these into like the, the plastic paint trays, and if it's not, you get a lot of liquid out first before you get some of the base color. So very neat. And these are supposed to be good for airbrush and regular brush painting, because sometimes I've seen things that are, say, airbrush right on them, and I think they're very watery to work with that, so they're not as good as when you're going to just hand use them with a brush. So again, here's the packaging. They fit in this little tray. The tray fits in the box. And that's World War II U.S. Army soldiers. Let's look at this paint. If you enjoyed this, thanks for watching. If you like, you could leave a super thanks here. Much appreciated. Be back again with another World War II 1/72 scale video. Thanks for watching, everyone.